Let's talk about something that affects almost every major decision in the tech world. When a company pays for research on its own products, can we really trust what it says? It's a huge question, and today we're going to pull back the curtain and see just how the game might be rigged. Welcome back. This is the seventh part of our 10-part deep dive into the massive report, Integrity Under Siege, put together by Virtualization Options LLC. We're zeroing in on one critical chapter: how the very companies paying for research can end up distorting the facts we all depend on. I want you to just look at this room for a second. Decisions worth millions, sometimes billions, are made in rooms just like this one. They're based on technology research reports that are supposed to be objective, a clear guide to the best path forward. But what if they're not? What if the deck is stacked before the first card is even dealt? And that really gets us to the heart of the matter with vendor-sponsored research. On the surface, it looks like a fantastic tool, but it carries a pretty big and often hidden danger. You could say it's a classic double-edged sword. So on the one hand, you get the promise: expert insights into really complex, cutting-edge technology. I mean, who wouldn't want that? But here's the peril, the other side of that sword. Because the research is funded by the very companies it's analyzing, it often ends up being just another marketing tool, packed with hidden biases that can lead people to make some really terrible decisions. So how does a problem like this even start? Well, it's not about a few bad apples trying to cheat the system. The problem is the system itself. It's baked right in. Let's dig into the root cause, what we call a structural conflict. A structural conflict of interest is basically a built-in tug-of-war. It happens when the company paying the bills has a direct financial stake in the outcome of the research. It creates this constant battle between the search for truth and the need to protect the bottom line. And you can guess which one often wins out. And this is how that conflict completely warps the landscape before a single experiment is run. The sponsors, the funders, they set the priorities. They ask the questions that are going to make their stuff look good. And what about the tough questions? The topics that might be critical? Well, those just don't get funded. Over time, this creates a completely skewed public record of what technology really does. Okay, so that's the big question, right? We know the funding model creates this fundamental conflict. But how, exactly, does that pressure cooker of a situation actually turn into a biased, misleading report? How does a little bit of influence become total manipulation? Well, it turns out there's a playbook for this, a set of specific, concrete tactics that are used to make sure sponsored research gets the right results, the commercial results. Let's pull back the curtain and see how it's done. A lot of the control is written right into the contract. First, researchers might have to sign on the dotted line, agreeing not to publish results the sponsor doesn't like. Next, all their drafts have to be sent over to the sponsor for review and, you guessed it, approval. And finally, some sponsors have outright veto power, meaning they can just bury any research that makes them look bad. And that brings us to the most important point here. This whole process completely turns the scientific method upside down. You see, evidence is supposed to drive conclusions, but in this model, the desired conclusion, our product is the best, drives what evidence ever gets to see the light of day. And here is a real-world, textbook example of this in action. A company paid for a study that, by using some scary-sounding language and only showing certain data points, came up with a headline that 88% of businesses hemorrhage IT costs. This wasn't research. It was a perfectly engineered marketing claim designed to sell you their products that, surprise, helps you save IT costs. And when you zoom out and look at what all of this leads to, the result is, well, it's depressingly predictable. This chart basically tells the whole story. The vast majority of sponsored research that gets published is positive. Mixed results, those get minimized. And the negative findings? A lot of them are just buried, gone, like they never happened. Now, this isn't just some dusty academic debate. This kind of manipulation has some seriously dangerous, real-world consequences. It creates a ripple effect that spreads far and wide, and it's causing a major crisis. And that ripple effect is actually pretty simple to follow. When policymakers, the people making the rules for all of us, rely on these bias reports for guidance, and they often do, you get bad regulations. It's a straight line. Flawed input leads to biased analysis, which leads directly to poor, ineffective, and sometimes even harmful policy. And the scale of this thing is just staggering. Get this, at top AI conferences these days, a shocking 80% of research papers have corporate ties. The line between independent science and a company press release has gotten incredibly blurry. And that line is blurring. because the power to fund research is now in the hands of just a few players. A tiny handful of tech giants. You can probably name them. Basically control the funding for entire fields, like artificial intelligence. They aren't just part of the conversation anymore. They are setting the entire agenda. But the good news is, people are starting to notice. More than 100 prominent voices from inside the research community are sounding the alarm. They're using words like capture to describe what's happening to academic research, and they see exactly how dangerous this is. Because the ultimate result of all of this is a full-blown credibility crisis. When nobody's transparent about who's funding what, public trust just evaporates. And it's not fair because it damages the reputation of all research, even the good, independent stuff. It leaves all of us struggling to figure out what's a real finding and what's just a slick advertisement. So we have to leave you with this final thought. When the search for objective truth gets tossed aside for a PR campaign, when research is treated as just another tool in the marketing toolbox, who pays the real price for the bad decisions made based on those skewed results? The answer, of course, is all of us.